Let's begin. Today's July 16th, 2024, and we're solving the Daily Turing Machine Puzzle. Today's puzzle uses the following 5 criteria cards. Criteria card 9, 15, 16, 19, and 20. And the puzzle uses the purple verification cards. The code above is your way to get more information on today's puzzle by searching the code on turingmachine.info. Let's go solve. So in the grid above, we've got our 5 criteria cards. On the top row, we've got criteria card A, criteria card B, and criteria card C. On the bottom row, we've got criteria card D, and finally criteria card E. So criteria card A looks at our 3-digit solution, and the Turing Machine will let us know how many of those digits should be 3. Are there no 3s? A single 3? Perhaps 2? Maybe even all 3 are 3. Criteria card B looks at our 3 digits, triangle, square, and circle, and will let us know which one is the absolute largest. So should triangle be the largest, should square be the largest, or should circle be the largest? Criteria card C looks at our 3-digit solution, and the Turing Machine will let us know a little bit about the ratio of even to odds. Should there be more even than odds, or should there be less even than odds? Criteria card D will take a look at our first 2 digits, triangle and square, add them up, and we'll compare that sum to 6. So should the sum be less than 6? Should the sum be equal to 6? Or should the sum be greater than 6? And finally, criteria card E will look at our 3-digit solution and will let us know a little bit about the structure of it, so to speak. It will let us know whether there are no repetitions, meaning all digits are unique, as in the example 1, 2, 5. It could also tell us that perhaps it could be a double number where there is a single digit repeated, as in the example 1, 1, 2, or it could be a triple number where there is a single digit repeated 3 times, as in the example 2, 2, 2. Now remember, the objective of the puzzle is to find that one unique 3-digit code that abides by all 5 criteria cards. Now let's begin with an initial proposal of 314. So the first thing I want to do is I want to find out the ratio of even to odds. So let me go ahead and test criteria card C. Okay, so the Turing Machine does not approve of what I have in my proposal. I do have 314. I do have 2 odds to a single even. The Turing Machine does not agree with that. So in fact, there should be more even than odds. So let me type that up in section C, and that is that even should be greater than odd. And so at this point, we just don't know. There are 2 general possibilities. We could either have 2 evens and an odd, or potentially they could all be even. With that in mind, let's go ahead and test criteria card E. Okay, so it does agree with my proposal. Again, I do have 314. They are all distinct, no repetition. So that's what I'm going to type in my notes in section E, that there are no repetitions. And since there are no repetitions, and I know I have more even than odds, that means that the solution will contain we'll type it in as contain a 2 and a 4, since I do need those 2 evens and an odd. So a 2, we'll say 4, and an odd. Okay, again, because I do know I have a majority of evens and they are distinct. They have to be 2 and 4 in some order, obviously, and an odd. So far we don't know, we haven't crossed out anything. As far as odds go, we do have criteria card A that will take a look. At this point, it's a 50-50. It's either a 3 or it's not. And let's see, what else do we have? We do have this majority. At least we know the 4 could be the biggest. Perhaps it could be even a 5 if it is an odd. So those are the kind of things that we'll probably go further into the discussion once we get to the third or second round. I guess at this point, I'm thinking about the sum, and obviously if it's equal to 6, then it'd be 2, 4, but we don't quite know, the order. I don't see anything really that would order them 2, 4 or 4, 2, other than maybe if it was the biggest. I don't know. So I'm kind of torn with what to test next. It would be interesting if the sum were smaller than 6, then maybe that would let us know that circle is the largest. But let's go ahead and test D. We'll compare the sum of the first 2 digits. So let's see. So D failed. Okay, so that means that the sum is either equal to 6 or greater than 6. So let's go ahead and type that up in section D. So triangle plus square will either be equal to 6 or greater than 6. So the sum will be, we'll say equal or greater than 6. Okay, so that said, I don't even think that will help us cross out anything, because if it could equal to 6, let me put that here, equal to 6 or greater than 6, even 1 and 5 can add up to 6. So wow. So I think I've had this experience before where I don't think I've crossed out anything. I do know that I do have 2 and 4 and an odd. Well, that does it for this round. We've already done our 3-turn test. So let's actually start talking about how to construct a good second round proposal. So as I mentioned before, it could be that the sum is 6 to 4. But again, if I don't see how we could order it. So I'm kind of wondering what it could be. Obviously, if there is a 3 and it's in either triangle or square, or it couldn't be, let's put it that way. If there's a 3, it couldn't be in triangle. Well, let me rephrase that. If the sum is 6, the 3 wouldn't be triangle or square. It would have to be circle. And if that's the case, that could be, and then the largest would be the 4, and it would either be triangle or square. So that sounds good in principle. And I'm trying to think of well, okay, so this is interesting. I think, can we say, I think if circle is the largest, if we just pretend, if circle is the largest, it could either be 4 or 5. So if circle's if circle's the largest, and let's say it's 5, then obviously we have 2 and 4, but we wouldn't have any idea how to order them. So 5 as circle fails. What if it's 4? Well, if 4 is the largest, then the only thing we have to work with is a 2 and a 3 or 1, and we already know that the sum is, sorry, the sum cannot be less than 6. So circle is definitely not the largest. So that means that, again, either a 4 or a 5 would have to be the largest in triangle or square. And so if it's a 5, then automatically we already know that it would have to be greater than 6. And again, 2 and 4 would work. So I believe 4 is the largest, and so I guess there is a possibility where it can be bigger than 6 and include a 3, and then the other one defaults to a 2. So those are our two possibilities. Either the largest is a 4 and it's equal to 6 and we get a 2, and I guess we would have to have a 3, or it's 4 and 3 and we'll know which is the largest, and the circle would be the 2. So those are the possibilities. Let's see, is it worth, yeah, let's go ahead and type them up just to kind of list them out. So what I'm saying is that either it's a 3, 4, 2, or 4, 3, 2, and I think that's the only possibility where it'd be greater, and I'm excluding the 5 that has the 3, and then the other case is if it's 2, 4, 3, or 4, 2, 3. So I think there's always going to be a 3. But let's go ahead and I want to do the where the sum is 6. So I'm going to say 2, 4, 3. So let's do 2, 4, 3, and let's do criteria card B and see if we got lucky and it's square. Okay, so we know square isn't the largest, and I'm pretty sure, as I explained, circle isn't the largest. So I'm going to type it in as saying we're going to deduce that so it's not square, it's not circle, it's triangle is the largest. And also that it's not going to be a 5, because I think if triangle, the largest would be 5, then it would work for either 2 or 4. So I don't think it's going to be a 5. Indeed, I think it's going to be a 4. And so that would be the second or the fourth case. Now we just have to figure out if the sum is 6 or not. So let me test the sum again. And again, I am also deducing that there is a 3. So, but first things first, let's test again the sum. So that's D. Oops, type in D here. Okay, the sum is 6. Fantastic. So let's go ahead and cross out this OR part. So we know it's 6. So that means that the solution so far is going to be, oh, and again, of course, Okay, so the sum is 6. I'm deducing that triangle is the largest. So I guess I'm saying that it's 4, 3. I'm sorry, it's 4, 2, 3. So let's see. So obviously it can't be these two because that's 7. And it's not F. Well, I'm saying it's not F because the square isn't the largest. So let's see. The sum is 6, so it's got to be 4, 2, 2, 4. Could it be? Well, maybe it could still be circle. Could be 5. Because if it says circle's the largest, that would be 5. You know what? Yeah, it could be that the circle is the largest. Because now that, well, yeah, no, I take it back. So definitely there's no 4. If circle's 5, we do know it's 6. And if it is the largest, then how would you know where to put the 4 and the 2? Yeah, I'm pretty confident it's going to be 4, 2. And, well, let's see. If you say it's, well, no. So I'm basing the ordering of 4 and 2, that triangle is the largest. It's got to be. Yeah. So it's going to be 4, 2, and it can't be a 5. And, well, yeah, I guess at this point, circle is either a 1 or a 3. It could be a 1 or a 3 based on that. So, yeah, we do need to test criteria card A to see if there is a 3. Because I guess technically it could be 4, 2, 1. Okay, so there is no 3. Okay, so yeah, so I'm going to amend it and say that it's going to be 4, 2, 1. So I will say in my notes here, there is no 3-digit. Okay, I am going to stick with, I'm deducing that triangle is the largest as 4. And yeah, so I won't cross out anything because it would take too long. I'll just say that the solution is 4, 2, 1. Okay, so let's go to turingmachine.info and confirm. 4, 2, 1 as the solution. Okay, fantastic. And so let's confirm how we did versus the Turing machine. I think we did do 6 tests after all. Yeah. So we didn't do the 5. 5 almost guarantees a win. Hopefully we did tie. So we did do C, D, E in the first turn, and then A, B, D. So C, D, E in the first turn. And the first 2 were wrong, C, D, E. And the second round we did A, B, and again, oh, sorry, I think both of those were wrong. And then I think we did D again. Yeah, we did D again. And that was correct. And wow, okay, so we still did beat it by 1 question. So that was amazing. I thought we would have tied for sure. Well, I will admit that this was one of the most interesting solves. The way I approached it was, I don't know, quite unconventional. I think my deductions and my reasonings were correct. And so, you know, we did do an early test of circle. Could it be the largest? And it couldn't. And so that would lead to either triangle and square having the largest, and since we know it's a 6, the 4 had to be the largest. And so it wasn't square, so my conclusion was that yes, it was triangle, and it worked out. So it's 4, 2, and of course there was no 3, so that would mean that it would be a 1. So again, quite unconventional. I think this must be the first one where I didn't cross out anything. I guess I had the opportunity to cross out, but not early on. So what do you think? Have you encountered such an unconventional solve before? Could it have been just the choices I made from the initial proposal to the criteria cards and the order I tested? What do you think? Please add anything to the comments. If you liked the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you don't want to miss out on any future videos, please hit subscribe to be notified. Well, until next time, have a great one.